Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the AlphaX Super Series, a best of 9, a long-winded series, so settle in. Between two iconic players in StarCraft 2 back in action. Honestly, so quick, I almost forgot he had left because he's taking the scene by storm once again. Joining Team AlphaX, it is Classic. Picking up right where he left off, and still, well, he's quickly fighting back towards the top 10. But we'll see. We'll see. Because he's up against the most whelming challenger you could ask for. The hard-working Terran. He's not Beyond. He's not Clem. He's not Maru. He's the Terran who makes it look like anyone could play Terran. He's the Terran who puts the work in and the time. And right now, he's currently ranked number 5 in the world. He might not be on the podium of every tournament, but he's not too far behind. The People's Terran, Cure. Now, if you get as excited for Cure games like me, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe. Because, much like Cure, you could just watch his games, or I was trying to navigate my own sentence there, but it wasn't going to go well. Much like Cure, you could watch Cure games all day, which is one of the dumber things I was going to say, and then I kind of just said it anyways. But the point is, Cure probably plays more matches in professional tournaments than most even Masters players play on the ladder. Not a week, almost literally not a week goes by without him and Zest facing off in something or other. Let alone all the other matches that are played in the intervening series, like this one. AlphaX putting up the prize and putting on great matches for the people in so many different formats every week. It's going to be a Hellion drop out of Cure. At least that's what this SCV is preparing for. It's one of the most obvious, but also potent builds that cost very little. Cure known for his mines and for builds that, like, a lot of Terrans beyond Clem, you really watch their micro and you get impressed. Whereas with Cure, has a great personality. So that's what's important. And that's what's gotten him this far. And also just solid, safe builds that are very high percentage plays. Classic, on the other hand. Classic, he's got a style. His style so far, since he's been back, which has been about a month now, maybe 2 at this point, a very shield toss style, where you just defend, you get the right composition, and then you strike back with overwhelming force. Unfortunately, this leaves some weakness in the early mid-game, which I believe Cure is looking to exploit right now. Now, Classic's actually, he's got 2 gates and a warp prism. He saw there was potential reactor. I'm kind of surprised we're seeing an Immortal being chrono boosted out, so kind of a weird build out of Classic here, but here comes the Hellion drop. And yes, the Immortal and Stalkers, dangerous, and Cure just picks up. Gonna be also very surprised to see the Immortal, like, okay, so, the Warp Prism chasing down the Hellions. Not, now this is happening. Not exactly sure where we go from here, as the Warp Prism is trying to intercept the Hellions. The Hellions can drive faster than most things that fly, which is kind of awkward. The medevac comes into the main. No units inside of it, just a scouting vac. The Immortal and 2 Stalkers working on the reactor of the barracks here. I don't think Kira's gonna mind too much. the most bare bones possible attack. Yet, making some... Like, you're a little optimistic throwing that add-on on. Replacing them now, just gonna reinstall. Oh, Warp Prism takes a lot of damage from the Viking. A little late to the party, but here it is. So those add-ons... I don't believe any not a huge impact. This is such an awkward game right now. I've never quite seen a game start off like this. An aborted Hellion drop and kind of a obligatory Warp Prism counter. It looks like Classic wanted to just get to the Colossi, and the Warp Prism was the way he gets there while still threatening some damage. And, like, it was some damage. Mostly emotional, but, like... The Hellion drop, Cure comes in again. Classic shows him out, respectfully. The worker counts are about even. Classic not pumping out the probes, instead focusing on the tech. Cure, on the other hand, playing it safe as well. He's got 3 racks, he's pumping tanks. The starport eventually made it home. And now with a couple more racks on the way, Cure's gonna have his 5 racks with a factory and a starport. Whereas Classic is gonna have Colossi now building the Ruptors behind it. A scan, spots and kills an observer. Okay, now this... Yeah, well, yeah, that Warp Prism does have 4 Stalkers in it. Which means he technically could do damage to Cure. Now, he could also easily lose the Warp Prism, which already is at half HP. And I'd say that's a massive risk for very little reward. And I think Classic now agrees upon realizing that, indeed, 4 Stalkers don't really... that's not quite the attacking force he was maybe looking for. Classic... He's hinting at an attack. The best defense is a good offense. If you stay right up in the middle, and you okay, well, not this. That's not really how you... Oh, he's just gonna go. Okay, well that... Disruptor shot on the tanks. Hallucinated Archon in the front. Cure is backing off. Classic lost a lot there. He kind of just stumbled into it. Meanwhile, Cure comes in, 13 probes. The 2 Hellions finally found the damage. He's just gonna keep going. Classic feels a little obligated, fires the shot. Cure loses a lot. Was it enough, though? The micro-back juggles into the prism. Disruptor clips a Marauder. 19 SCVs. But Classic is running out of units. Down goes a Colossus. The second one, the Warp Prism. A bloody battle with units strewn across the field. Cure just kind of casually strolled in with the 2 surviving Hellions. Whereas Classic stumbled directly into the tanks, and both sides finding significant damage. Cure definitely getting the better end of the fight. And the fact he undercut Classic's economy to such an extent, like, Classic just lost every good unit he had. He doesn't even have charge. So, I think Cure kind of intimidated himself with that army. I think he could have stood his ground a little better, but there wasn't Blink. I don't know why Classic decided to just go. I think he realized he was getting hit by the Hellions and felt obligated. But a bit of a sloppy game 1 to start us off here. We got plenty of games to go. Okay, make no mistake. Best of 9 means we got plenty of opportunity for these 2 to get to know each other better. Honestly, that was a pretty typical Cure game. And from what we've seen of Classic, it's on par. Classic has been choosing a lot of kind of off-center builds. Builds that are close, like they're in the same zip code as your I don't even know who's the standard now. Zest? Like, who is the standard bearer of Protoss? Trap? Now this is a harder question. Anyways, game Jimmy! Sorry. I like, who do you look to? Cause with Terran, you've got some pretty obvious choices. You've got 3 distinct personalities as Terran. You've got Clem, who will play what is standard, but he'll do it so well you'll feel like you can't do that. Beyond, who will play what is standard for Beyond 3 years ago. And then you have Cure, who will try to avoid both of those things and probably win as much, if not more, against most players. Especially against... Oh, wow. Okay, you know what? Never mind. No more meta talk. Let's, experience this as the proxy war has begun. Cure has proxy to barracks outside of Classic's main base. Classic has proxy to Gateway a little further, but the probe's gonna get in. It's gonna see 2 gases and 0 barracks.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for
now,
you.
he has a gate at home, so it's not a max packs build. So he will have units at home. Cure's gonna get in. You know, I know better than most, but so does Cure. Where's the second pylon? SCV chasing down... Wait, did that probe make a pylon and cancel it? I thought I heard it cancel. So the SCV in the main, Zealot distracted by it, Reaper coming in, looking for probes. He's not Clem. Okay, but still gets a probe. Gonna play Ring Around the Nexus with the Zealot. And then just leave because he knows his limits here. Okay, gonna micro a little. But the Stalker is... okay, yeah. Well, meanwhile, probe's back in the main. How did it get in here? What happened? How did this happen? Why was the door open? You can't just leave your door open. This isn't Canada. Alright, this is Starcraft. This is Jagged... Oh, okay, so Classic's gonna build a pylon because... I mean, what else would you do? There are 2 Reapers in Classic's main, which seems like approximately 2 more Reapers than he's prepared to deal with right now. The Zealot and the Stalker are coming back. A bit of a dereliction of duty. Widowmine hit, and I imagine that killed a Stalker. Yes, it did. So... after the smoke, such as it is, clears here. Okay, the second Stalker... Oh, come on. Oh, well. Yeah, well, that... Okay, 3 minutes and 20 seconds before you could lose a villager to a boar in Age of Empires. Cure has managed to sneak this one home. In through the second floor window so his mom doesn't know. Though, his mom has been asking him to get his own apartment. You won $400,000. Why don't you move out? Cure's perfectly happy where he is. He's an efficient player. Here we are. So, 2-0 for Cure. I mean, still needs 3 more. Though, at this rate... we were having a meta discussion, and then they proxied each other. And by we, I mean my favorite people, which are me, myself, and I. We argue a lot, we interrupt each other. We have a tendency to talk in third person, kind of awkwardly for everyone listening. But usually we wrap around to a decent conclusion. So, we were talking about who the standard bearers for each race are. And honestly, this is kind of the issue for Protoss, and has been historically, is like, you have your YOLO toss and you have your shield toss. The lines are a little more blurred nowadays, I'd say. But like your YOLO toss players like Parting, SOS, you probably don't want to follow their lead, both as like players and just human beings. And then you have the shield toss, who are like, were stats, I would say, trapped to an extent. Zest is the thing. Well, I say the lines are a little more blurred because Zest is kind of, it depends on the day. Honestly, it depends on the game sometimes with Zest, whether or not we're just gonna casually walk across with the first 4 units, or we're gonna play an extensive, immaculate, precise late game. But I digress. I will take any opportunity to talk about Zest in the meta. It is a meta play, to be honest. But there is no tried and true method, I think, for each matchup for Protoss, because it's very stylistic. I guess that is Protoss in and of itself, because so much of your build depends on the tech you choose. Like, Terrans will go 1-1-1 to like 17 minutes and claim they're going mech or bio, while still not committing to either. That's only a slight exaggeration. Zerg players will build queens and call that a personality. But Protoss players, like, going Robo first is a choice. And that's a very different opener than the more typical Stargate or Twilight. He went Robo first in game 1. It seemed like he wanted to do the Prism into Robo Bay plays. And it looks like we're going to give it another shot. Speaking of giving it another shot, Kira's making a couple Hellions. So it looks, we're lining up similar to game 1, except this time Kira does have a starport in his main. But remember, the Hellion drop didn't really do anything. It's not a Hellion drop. Honestly, he might just be trying to make it look like one. Last time, and this is a map where, well, a lot of players will put the starport over on the left side of the map. Has he walled off? Has Classic... Oh, is he just... Well, alright. So it appears Kira's just gonna waltz right in. Gonna kill 4 probes with the Hellion. And did he see the... He saw the Robo. So he just kind of shows up, kills 4 probes, refuses to elaborate further, and dies. Wow, 4 Widow Mines ready to drop. There's a Prism on the way. He's getting Gravitic Drive, Warp Prism speed. Classic, he's... There's a reason you don't go Robo usually. Oh, by the way, he has a Robo Bay already. It leaves you with very limited options to deal with early Terran harass. One Widow Mine's walking in the front. Alright. Classic. A bit slow on the reaction so far. Okay. At the natural. Pure. Gets a couple more. So 5 kills. He's starting to stack them up now. The Prism will have Prism speed momentarily for whatever good that does. Drops the Immortal. Juggling a bit. Gets the tank. Okay. Progress. There are still 3 mines in the medevac. Yeah, Prism speed, but Viking micro. Oh my god, it's a total disaster. He lost the Immortal inside of the Prism. What are you gonna do? Shoot the Disruptor into your mineral line? Yeah. Oh no. Alright, so he just... Yeah. Okay, this is very bad. So Classic is kind of showing us why you don't usually open up straight up into Robo. Because your best options are just simply not... Like, what did Classic do there that, like, 1 or 2 Oracles couldn't have done better? With more options to deal with this harass. He got in, he killed a tank and a few Marines. It's just not happening. Alright, Cure just... Oh no. Well, at least he gets that one. The Liberator died, I guess. There's a Disruptor drop. But Cure's already up 9 SCVs. And he's a Terran, so he has mules. Much to the dismay of everyone but Terrans. Alright, so 2 SCVs is less than 9.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
I mean... I think the Widowmine was sniped. There's an observer back here. Just trying to put its head in the metaphorical sand, but we're far too underwater for that. I guess there's sand at the bottom of the ocean. Either way, we're making our way there. Okay, so a double disruptor drop. But what is the unit? A bunch of stalkers. They do not have blink. There are no shield batteries. The Ruptor drop, Cure, no reaction. 16 SCVs. Wow. A devastating blow, but Classic doesn't really have any units to defend the attack. Okay, a Colossus is an addition, and now it's a subtraction. Cure just kind of slams the point home. Classic left without any real army to defend. And we repeat another game. Cure with a clean 3-0 so far. Classic is trying to make these... I think we need to go back to the... We need to consult with the Twilight Council. Need to see what they have to say. Because I have it on good authority that anything the Twilight Council says is probably going to be better than what we're seeing right now. And this is what I love and sometimes hate about Cure. Only because it reminds me so much of myself. Like, Cure right now, what is he doing? He did some mediocre Proxy Reaper micro. He kind of just ended up with a few kills on Hellions. Like, oh, Jimmy, give him his points. He deserves it. Like, no Marine splits. No, like, crazy target fire pickup micro. No, he just killed a few probes. Defended. That's it. Like, he just solid build, doesn't slip on the macro, gets the job done. What are you doing, Classic? Are you that scared of a proxy Rex? Like, if you had just left the Stalker at home. Not the best showing so far from the Team AlphaX player. In the Team AlphaX series, which is not... They're like, okay, we'll give you Cure this time. Classic's like, oh, finally. Unfortunately, here we are. Honestly, I think the Robo's okay, but Classic is trying to turn it into an aggressive option. And it seems like unprovoked. Which, if the Terran player sits in their base and does nothing, I think can be fine. But we are not in the Diamond League. So, it is very likely that Terran will do something other than nothing in the first 5 minutes of the game. What I mean is, like... Oh. The Robo just doesn't have the aggressive potential unless you want to go all in. Like the Warp Prism, you can do a big Gateway all in or something, which might catch him off guard. The Stargate is just a more stable option. You have a lot more defense and offense early on to counter the small but dangerous amounts of units that Terran can throw, drive, or fly at you. In fact, I rarely do they throw units. Though maybe if the Herc had gone... Sure. Couple Hellions. Looking like a similar build to last game. And if it ain't broke, then why repair it? Hellions gonna fight the Adept. They might kill it in time. It's gonna be... Is he gonna lose? Oh, Micro God. What a save.
What a save!
Though, I mean... calculated. Did you know it takes 4 Adept hits for an Adept to kill a Hellion? Here may have. I'm not 100% convinced, but, like, it's likely he did. So this time, Phoenixes. He's actually banking up the Phoenixes, not showing them. I mean, especially once you see the Hellions. I don't think you're expecting to get much damage done here, as obviously the Hellions were scouted and delayed. So he's not even bothering. There is the Widowmine drop. So it's a essentially identical build to the previous match. Cure is going for a couple Hellions and then a Widowmine drop. Nothing. There's no armory. There's no extra kicker to it. Classic, in fact, should see this. Yeah, he comes in. The Widowmines will drop. He gets 1. He gets 2, 3. Widowmine number 4. Gets 3 kills. You know, that was well diffused. That's about as good as it could have gone for Classic. Well, the best would have been to make sure no Widowmines fired, but 3 kills is by far the least amount of damage. And here come 8 Adepts towards the other side of the map. Classic also going to take a third behind this. There, the 2... But here we go, the trusty Hellions. Cure always leaving his options open, but for once, Classic not doing so with his base. It looks like Classic really wants to get damage done here. There's only 1 Marine in the bunker. He's just gonna go for the tank, picks it up. The Marines can't even get to the bunker. Cure struggling. The SCVs are drawing a lot of fire. He's gonna lose the Adepts. Cure is getting cut to pieces here economically. Widowmines in the main. The energy is gone, and Classic, for the first time in this series, looks like he's in a pretty solid spot. 15 unanswered SCV kills. Uh-oh. But the Widowmines slam in, take out 2 Phoenixes, and the rest don't have energy to pick them up, and just like that, well, that doesn't turn the tides, but it definitely starts leaning a little less heavily towards Classic right now. Losing a critical mass of Phoenixes means it's harder to just keep Cure in his bit. Oh, Cure. Cure. Oh, come on. Oh, he fell for it twice. The first time, okay, but... Oh. Oh. You can't even be mad about that. Like, I could complain about Widowmines all I'd like, and I like to complain about them a lot. But you can't fall for it twice and complain. Like, oh no. Wait a second, what? So now the unit count is 4 Adepts, 3 Stalkers, and 3 Phoenixes. Cure has Stim combat shields, 2 medevacs, and over a dozen Marines. Oh, Classic may have... well, there's an armory about to finish as well. Is there charge? Charge is about to finish. The charge is the deal breaker here. But the armory. The armory. Classic lost map control. The Widow Mine from the high ground. Slamming the point home. Widow Mines on both sides of the map. Yes. No! 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 Oh my god! Oh. It's... Well, let's... Jimmy, can we bring that up again? Well... Looks like... Oh my, classic navigating the narrow path to victory. Path to defeat, I should add. Through the, canyon of victory. Oh my god. Like, you know what he's gonna do. This is his fallback. This was both his original plan and his fallback plan. All you have to do against Kira is make sure he has to micro Marines, okay? Make sure he has to do what every other Terran would love to do for a living. But the Widow Mines on both sides, they continue. He's continuing. He almost couldn't get the Widow Mines out of the medevac. Yeah, the Marines are not cutting it. The only thing keeping Classic in this game is that Cure is not able to keep a bio-army together. I can't believe it. I mean, I can, but also, I wish I didn't have to. Cure is struggling to muster any more than a dozen bio units together. But he's already just kidney shot Classic over and over. Classic over here, failing his Minesweeper game. How, like... I feel there's no ways to describe this outside of just lamenting noises, like, And that's about it. Classic knows better. Here knows exactly the right amount. And now Kier does have 69 army supply, which is nice enough to come across the map. There is no splash damage. There are charge launch with +1, but Kier has mines, armory mines, by the way, in case the observers aren't quite on point. He's got medevacs, he's got 1-1 Marine Marauder. There's not enough, and if any Widow Mines connect, 2 Adepts, 0 Adepts. Kier doing the least effort possible to hide the mines. Puts them right behind the dish over here. Oh my god, what a camper! And he's proud of it. Alright. Is he working hard or is he hardly working? Either way, the blue-collar Terran is grinding the point home. The Phoenixes, I think, are going to be used to draw the mines into the Terran army at this point. Classic. It started so well. Is he really... He's really trying to avoid the mines, which is... Like, make a decision. Are you committing? A Colossus shows up. A little late to the party. About 10 seconds late. And there's just... Oh, he's chasing. He's diving deep for that Colossus. And he gets it. And Cure secures 4 games, putting himself on a match point in this best of 9. Not exactly what I expected, but But, like, it's... You have to get past this phase of the game. You have to be able to get past the Minesweeper phase. At least in the earlier games, so that way you can bring to bear all that splash damage and all that fanciness. Classic has failed to clear the bar, and so Cures beat him over the head with it. But we didn't expect to be here so early, but we are here. So, time for a quick advertisement. We'll be right back to Match Point. Hey everybody! I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you all about how you can get more exciting content. And are you not content with just watching one series every day? Are you one of those weirdos who puts everything on like 50% faster speed because you like listening to Starcraft and the Chipmunk casters? Well, okay, I guess. But like and subscribe and you can check out more. But wait, if you happen to be one of the several dozen people who will watch this past September of 2021, well then hats off to you. You are the real heroes, and I'm not talking about the Korean Protoss player. No. But to the rest of people who are actually paying attention, September is starting on Twitch. You can now subscribe for a little cheaper, so that's pretty cool. Or for free every single month with Prime Gaming. Twitch, one of the streaming sites that exists. Twitch.tv/wintergaming. Subscribe today or you're losing money from me. So subscribe with Prime Gaming. Because remember, at Amazon Prime, we know where you live. You told us. Thank you guys for sticking around. We're on Match Point of the AlphaX Super Series. Cure with a... I don't know if I'll say unlike... I'm not used to Cure, just... Like... I feel like I'm watching someone play a roguelike. And if you think about it, Starcraft is essentially just one of the original roguelike games. Not roguelite, where you get, like, extra bonuses every time in case you're too incompetent to actually get good. No, a roguelike where you start with the same hand, like you and Cyril. You and Maru, you and Parting, all start with the same amount. It's what you do with it in the next however amount of time. Except in this particular one, it's classic, getting slightly better each time and getting slightly further and then dying to Widow Mines. Like, if we can get past the Widow Mine boss, then maybe we can play the rest of the game. But Cure, in his wisdom, understands that while he could try to do these silly, like, bio openers, Marines and Marauders' flesh is weak and malleable. Widow Mines, mechanical death, with no mercy. Just how he likes it. So. This is unacceptable for Classic. Like, you can't let this happen. You can't. That last game, the first Widowmine hit on the Phoenixes, okay. The second one, no. That's not... Honestly, with these players who do come back, usually after their military service in South Korea, sometimes you've got like this new flavor. Classic, I think, is showing a lack of respect for Widowmines and for the current meta such as it is. He's kind of shoehorning in older builds, and they still can work. And honestly, his builds are better tuned for playing against someone like Beyond, who half the time is going to desperately try to get 2 medevacs with Stim Marines, as opposed to someone like Cure, who's perfectly happy if that never happens. And right, like, it's pretty obvious Classic is thinking about what happens at, like, the 7-minute mark. But we're just not getting there safely. Alright. Once again, I mean, this is what I love about Cure. He's just not dealing with it. Like, Cure has found a build. 2 games in a row. Same build. Another game. Same build. Alright. It hits 1-2 games in a row. Why would you change it? It's pretty clear Classic is struggling. If it brings home the bacon, okay. Or whatever, or soju, or whatever you're into. Honestly, Cure kind of seems like a scrambled eggs and bacon, but like a little bit of hot sauce on the scrambled eggs. Not too much. Definitely not too much, but a little bit. Yeah, and that's like as wild as we'll get. And here we are. Widowmine drop coming in. This will hopefully not surprise anyone involved in the... Oh my god, what a play! Oh. I mean, it seems like a great play. Oh my... The Widowmine still hit. They end up with 7 kills. He actually ran from one side into the other mines, which honestly was a pretty cool idea. The execution was only even a little good because Classic kind of walked into it. It still did more damage than it ever had a right to. 7 probe kills. But that did cost a lot. That was 4 mines, a medevac, and a couple Hellions. So now, Cure's been making Cyclones. Interesting. Instead of the mines, he's leaned away from the mines. The Cyclones instead are the choice. A more stable choice. But honestly, I don't know if that's going to serve him better than the mine. He is zoning out the Phoenixes. Classic commits with the Adepts, which, yeah, this is the kind of play that I think is really just not reading the situation. Right now, Classic is getting a 3rd in a Robobay. The last thing you want to do as Classic is lose map control. You don't want to lose the units that are keeping your opponent at home, because you don't have a 3rd, you don't have shield batteries, you don't have Colossi, but he lost several Adepts, and he has no energy on his Phoenixes. So Cure's like, well, I guess I attack now. Because what else is he gonna do? Cure didn't have a 3rd. Cure would not be moving out with this force if there were still a bunch of Phoenixes outside his base. And actually, he does back off. Little does he know, he probably could have killed the 3rd. There's almost nothing here. A handful of Stalkers. The shield battery just finished. Now there's a Colossus. 2 medevacs. Was an observer killed? No. First observer's going across now. That observer siege is up. Or surveillance mode, such as it is. Now, this is the most stable defense. Classic is at... Okay, Classic is at 60 probes. He's got extended thermal lance on the way. He's still got some Phoenixes, which makes drops risky. Well, he just decides to elevator into the main. There's a Colossus, but 2 Colossi against... Yeah, well... Bit of an awkward... Yep. Well... This is kind of exactly how I expected Cure's Marine drops to go. Everyone's stumbling around the base now. Cure doing a surprising amount of damage as he just wanders in with the units that were left over. Recalls to the 3rd. Cure just... There's still 2 Marines in the main, by the way. You know, those are just like the Dorito dust at the bottom of the bag. Where, like, oh, I guess... Yeah. Oh, there's another drop in the main. Cure doing his best Hero Marine impression right now. And Classic... So, for all it looked like Classic struggled to deal with that, Classic still has 61 probes, and he still has most of his key units. He did lose the Phoenixes, which hurts a bit, but not nearly as much as last game, because now he has Colossi with extended Thermal Lance. He actually has an economy to back this up. He does need to keep Cure from just continually dropping into his main here. This is getting to be a real issue. Cure's doing a very good job of threatening, and there's no easy way for Classic to stop him from doing this. The 2 Cyclone counter is definitely... He's like, these are getting way too annoying. Wow. Recall is on cooldown. Cure with the most obvious bait and switch. Should be trying out for the pro fishing tour with that one. Because I haven't ever seen such an obvious bait work so well. Not since last game with the Whittle Mines. And all the hallucinated Phoenixes to draw the mines in, but Cure kind of just kills the main Nexus. And he can get... There's no blink, I don't think, so he just leaves. Immortal decides to face tank a Whittle Mine. Oh, I mean, why not? Colossus in the bubula. This is happening. Unfortunately, Colossi can walk down cliffs, which... Wow, this is... Oh, this is rough. Okay. Cure finding his angle. He's working it. Depowering all the production. Honestly, that's not enough to do count. 1 Colossus. Oh, the Whittle Mine. Hits, splashes onto the Prism. Cure's just killing everything. Is Cure about to go 5-0 against Classic? I mean, yeah. That's what it looks like. Classic with, like, he's kind of thinking about killing it. That's not nearly. He loses the Prism. There's still a few stragglers in the main here. He's just... Oh, he's gonna lose all these, but he's killing the whole army, and that's it. Classic gonna look back, see 0 army, and type 2 Gs. Classic. Wow. Okay, warps in some zealots. He might not have realized how badly his army did, because he was in the main looking at things. Well, yeah, Classic is super dead. This was not a good series from Classic. This was a perfectly solid series from Cure. He played his strengths, and his strengths were very effective here. Mostly the Whittle Mines, but just generally being in the right place at the right time. Cure. Now coming in, you look at the matchup, you look at the players, you look at the length of the series. Were you expecting 5-0? That is one of the cleanest series I've ever seen Cure play. Like, he came in, he did not put in any overtime today. He did exactly as much as he needed. Nothing flashy at all. Well, it's over. All right. 5-0. Thank you, AlphaX. And those are builds you can copy. Like, those are ladder builds. Well, honestly, 1 build. That a little higher level because, of course, the dual prong early game, but you can just straight up copy those builds And I think they'll serve most players well on the ladder. Serve Cure well here against one of the best players in StarCraft. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. Good luck, have fun. See you next time. Stay chill.